Captain Snowball, at your service. What's the problem, ma'am? Captain Snowball, I need your help, quickly. There's a white tiger in trouble. We need to rescue him from this Russian circus guy who's treating him badly. Really, really badly. Right? Like, against animal rights laws. This is America, isn't it? Yes, this guy's breaking those laws. We've got to rescue this white tiger. Come on, let's go. Don't you worry, ma'am. We will go and rescue this cute white tiger from these evil Russians who are breaking human rights laws. I don't know why he's Russian, he just is. Okay, let's go. Okay, I'm right behind you. Trust me, sister, it's only going to get weirder. Okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah, I can feel the sun shining. I can see the stars aligning. I know that it's perfect timing. I can feel my heart beating. I can feel the love peaking. I know that we're gonna need it.
Trying out a new position for this review, just like how I did with my Faceless Ones announcement video. This review is taking place being filmed not long after the after I saw Secret Life of Pets 2. So let's get with it. Okay, the plot is, there isn't really much of a plot. But at the same time, there's three storylines that kind of go alongside each other and then sort of merge at the end, which was something I was hoping would happen. But they didn't really do it like a Avengers Infinity War style, where a big connection is connecting it to it's all weaving together for the finale or anything, the climax. But basically, the first plot sees Max, the main character. His owner is now married and they have a child called Liam. So Max is now taking it upon himself to make sure young Liam does not get hurt. Him and Duke have to protect him. And then for a bit, they go to a farm for a little bit where he's taught by a dog called Rooster to be brave. Fun fact, the dog Rooster is voiced by Harrison Ford. Immediately making this film slightly better than the first one because Harrison Ford is amazing. And he does a really good job here as well. Okay, and then at the end of that, Max and Duke return home after Max basically gets a couple lessons from Rooster, especially how to be brave when trying to rescue a sheep called Cotton, I believe. Okay, that is a very stereotypical name for a lamb. And the lamb is also a bit funny in places. He's a bit of a prick, but he's also funny. Also, during the farm, one of the farm scenes, there's this when Duke's trying to get the attention of a cow by saying stuff what a cow might normally say, like moo, hello, and then the cow starts mocking him and stereotyping the dogs, and it's really funny. But yeah, not really much happens on the farm besides that. There's not really that much worth. I mean, there's one point where Rooster saves Max from a fox. That's about it. And Max has to wear a cone from after going to the vet, which is another Max scene. And he has a scratching disorder. It's a very funny, good bit about some animals sort of maybe not being quite sane. If you've seen one of the vet teaser trailer, then you'll know what it is. You basically more or less seen the scene. And so he got to the cone, but then Rooster takes it off him, and he doesn't have to worry about it again. Doesn't really have much of a consequence, really. Not really. In fact, the whole stuff with the kid sort of gets pushed to the side in the third act until the very end. But we'll get back to the third act. The second plot sees Max has asked Gidget to look after his bee, Squeaky Ball, to whilst he's away on holiday, and Gidget accidentally loses it in a flat owned by a cat's lady, and there's lots and lots of cats, so she has to get help from Chloe the cat to act like a cat so she can infiltrate the house and recover the Beeble, and also gets the hamster to trick the cats into believing she caught a red dot like that cats like to go after, and she somehow becomes their queen or something. And then she brings them along to the third act as well to come to the aid of Max and Snowball. And finally, the third storyline that goes on, which is probably the one that I liked the most and has the most relevance to the final act, is Snowball is now playing superhero, and this dog comes in to ask him for his help to rescue a trapped white lion from a circus owned by an evil Russian, his pet monkey, and 4 wolves. So they have to rescue the tiger and evade the 4 wolves and try and hide him. They first hide him out at another dog's place where his owner is never in. That's a nice, fun bit about the school. And then have to hide him back at Max's place, and Max discovers them once he gets back, that they're trying to smuggle him out. And that's when the wolves sent by Sergei, the Russian villain who owns the circus, comes after them. And yeah, and that's how that bit ties in, and he has to get Gidget and pretty much all the other pets to come to their aid when Max helps them once again save the tiger when he's recaptured by Sergei. So everyone has to, and also the other dog also gets captured as well. So Snowball and Max then have to go after them, and then the other pets come to their rescue as well at the end. And the final climax sees Max using what he learnt from Rooster to help save the white tiger, and Snowball has a great scene with the evil monkey trying to rescue the other dog. I believe her name's Daisy. So he rescues Daisy and defeats the evil monkey. And at the very end, Sergei is accidentally run over by a cat lady and all the other pets when they come to the rescue. It's all right. It's a kids' film. He's not going to be dead. It's not like a live action film where someone gets knocked over and then knocked over again when the car bumps into him in reverse. He won't be dead. He's just going to be injured. It's cartoon logic. But kids do not run over people in real life. They will be seriously injured, if not dead. It's not like Sergei in this film. He's just down for the count for a few minutes. No, they will be dead or seriously injured. So, yeah, it's funny for here, but don't do it in real life. And then all the pets go back to New York, and everyone happy ending. The stuff with the Beeble doesn't actually get resolved. Gidget has it back, but she never gives it back to Max. So I believe that bit's that they don't resolve that bit. There was a bit earlier where she had a sort of a dream about being with Max, and they had the bee as a baby based on some lines of dialogue they had a little bit earlier. But the Beeble stuff doesn't get resolved on screen anyway. So Max learns not to be so not to hold on to Liam so tightly, but to let him go to preschool and let him learn and play, let him do his own things, and basically let him grow up. And Snowball gets to play Fairy Doll, which is funny. And the white tiger goes to live with the cat lady, which makes perfect sense. Sergei basically I wouldn't say he got away, but got away with his crimes, but he doesn't face any legal ramifications on screen anyway. But at least he got run over by the car twice, and not died. I mean, that would have been a bit. Whoa, watch it. If that had been in the film, that I knew he wasn't going to be dead. It's a kids film, aimed at you. It's a very young kids film, so. I mean, there is some mild threat in the film, like that third act is some mild threat, and the fox that is Duke almost gets eaten, not Duke, Max almost gets eaten by before Rooster comes in to save him. There's a little bit of threat, but it's very mild and it's not too bad. It's a bit scary in some places. but it's also quite fun as the characters are a bit over the top and very much stereotypes, especially Sergei. And yeah, it's fun, but I think there isn't that much storytelling. The three acts don't really gel with each other whilst they're telling their stories. When they get to the end, that sort of nicely ties up. But during the course of the film, didn't quite connect that well. I mean, you kind of got the main Max plot, and then they kind of split for the Gidget one, and you had the Snowball plot as well, and they ran alongside each other. But when they cut back and forth, it didn't quite gel so well. And I think it's because they were so different. That was the thing, and which is usually fine, but it didn't quite gel so well. But the ending sort of fixed it a little bit when it tied them back up together. But yeah, and seeing the pets doing their usual stuff is quite fun as well, exploring a bit more of their secret life and the lot. But it's just that the plot thing, there was not much happening to start with, and then too much started happening as well with the three plots, and they couldn't quite gel with each other that much, apart from when they first started out and when they first ended, when they were splitting and coming together. But on the whole, it's a bit of a script-wise, it's a bit of a mess. Acting is actually really well acted. Quite a lot of great acting, especially from Patton Oswalt, who's taken over as Max from Louis C.K., and Kevin Hart is back as Snowball, who was easily the best thing in the first movie. He's now only the second best thing in this movie, or third best thing, because the best thing in this movie is Harrison Ford, and the second best thing in the movie is the White Tiger. I would say Snowball is the next best thing. And as for the other actors, I think they're all good. As per usual, they all do good jobs in their roles. Both ones from the first film and newcomers. The animation is also looking good and really well fast-paced. It's not a long film, but so young kids will like. In fact, there was one kid in my screen who didn't even want to leave when the credits were rolling. And I think we certainly laughed at quite a few points in it. That kid or a few other kids. There weren't many in the screening. There was 3 kids with one of them had a parent and the other 2 had another parent. It had their parent as well, a parent. So 2 kids and a parent, and 1 other kid, slightly younger, and their parent, and then me and my sister. And we laughed at a few bits, but I think the kids, certainly the 2 with the pair, I think with their dad. I think they came with a dad, whilst the other one was with a mum. But the pair with the dads, I think, certainly laughed at a few bits, quite a few more bits. There were certainly some funny moments, but the story still feels a bit of a mess. So younger children will like it. They'll find it fun, enjoyable, lots of bright colours, a stereotypical villain to laugh at when he gets knocked over by the car, and some fun subplots. But on story basis, it's not that amazing. It's good. It's fun, enjoyable, but it's basically nothing more than that. It's not going to be the next Lion King or anything. But at the same time, it's not terrible. It's fun. I actually also didn't. And when I saw the first one, I was kind of getting a bit frustrated, irritated in my seat. Nothing too bad with the film. I was just getting a bit fidgety, which wasn't normal in the cinema. Well, actually, yes, it is, but not that much. So, and that one wasn't very long. I'd sat through longer. I would sit for even more longer. And that one was my most one of my most fidgetiest cinema experiences. I'm not sure. Maybe it was because it was a more warmer day. Today it's a bit colder than recently. Recently it's been a bit warm, but today it's a bit colder. But I had a better experience watching this one. Maybe I was slightly more engaged in the Snowball plot and slightly interested in the other ones. Did want to see how they went. And yeah, I think the first one is good, but not amazing. I did put it as my least favourite film of 2016. However, that might need a reevaluation. Yeah, but it was also my second review on the main channel, so do go check that out. As you can see how far I've come since July 2016. June, July 2016 to June 2019. And I think the filmmakers have slightly improved as well for the plot and the execution and the characters. But I wouldn't say it's that much. It's a bit better than the first one, but it's not going to set the world on fire. This might be my least favorite film of the year, but of this year, but it'll be above. It won't, not 2017, 2016. I did say 16. I'm getting confused. It's not going to light the world on fire, but it's still good. Young kids will like it, especially very young ones. Older kids might not find much value in it apart from a few laughs. And yeah, it's okay. So I'm going to give The Secret Life of Pets 2 a 7 out of 10.
Just sing along with it. I know somebody love me. Someone reach out and hug me. Road is getting bumpy, but it's gonna be a lovely day. I know you feeling lonely. Someone reach out and hold me. You can't be acting grumpy. It's gonna be a lovely day.
It's great for children, especially very young children, but for everybody else, they just pass it off as funny in places, but can be a bit tiresome in other places. I mean, it's not a long film, so you're not going to be bored that much, unless you're a very old grumpy git who doesn't really like these sorts of films. My dad springs to mind for the most part. I mean, maybe he'll tolerate it, but doesn't mean he has to like it. Well, it's alright, we didn't bring him, so oh well. But besides that, I don't know what other people might think. They might like some of the humor, they might like some of the characters. The music's pretty good, especially when they do some superhero music akin to Incredibles. And that's another thing, they do some superhero references as well, because Snowball's playing superhero. There's even a bit of the Superman theme in there from the 78 one. And Snowball also does his hands like Spider-Man. But there's one bit in the film that I think they missed a trick with a superhero reference, and that's when the wolf's chasing Daisy, the new the dog who comes to see Snowball. They should have had characters resembling Professor Xavier and Magneto in that scene. That would have been, because they're playing chess. That would have been such a nice superhero reference. Oh, they missed a trick there. It would have been funny, but that's not a problem in the film. It's just something they could have done that would have been pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, Secret Life of Pets 2, it's okay. I mean, it's something for young kids to watch for an hour and a half or something, and they'll probably enjoy it. So yeah, a bit like the first one, except I slightly prefer this one. It seems to be a thing with sequels. Sometimes I slightly prefer the second one to the first one, if the first one doesn't quite grasp me, like Fantastic Beasts or Amazing Spider-Man. You'll be surprised to know I like Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than Amazing Spider-Man 1. Doesn't mean it's that great, but I like it more than the first one. And the same for Fantastic Beasts. And a few others maybe. Some other cases that I do prefer the first one, or another installment, depending on the film, like Finding Nemo. I prefer the first film to the second film. For example, Incredibles 2, I like the second one, but the first one is also, I also consider the first one very highly in regard. So, yeah, maybe there are some sequels I will prefer more than the first one. Guardians of the Galaxy, again, like the second one more than the first, but the first one is also still highly regarded for me. But yeah, sometimes I'll like the second film more than the first. Sometimes I'll like the first more than the second, and third film or later, we'll see how that goes along. See how that goes. So anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
I know somebody loves. Someone reach out and hug. Road is getting bumpy, but it's gonna be a lovely day. Oh yeah, I know you feeling lonely. Someone reach out and hold me. You can't be acting grumpy. It's gonna be a lovely day. Hey, love, 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 lovely. Oh, it's gonna be a lovely day. Love, 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 love.
click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne YouTube channel.
Excuse me. I would say the plot about the Max looking after Liam, the boy, is needed, but it does get pushed to the side a little bit. Going back to acting, yeah, I've pretty much covered my acting. Yo, this is Super Snowball! It's Captain Snowball anyway. The invisible enemy. Trust me, sister, it's only going to get weird. Okay, that's a wrap.